You here, fam? Where's everyone else? That's the question. What if... Where this fucking... Let me just double check I've got it pasted. Nice, this. Nice. There it is. There it is. Is Mormonism a cult? This is what happens. If you're not here, you're being made fun of. So my title is Mormonism a cult, fam? Mormoin, fam. I may find some Latter-day Saint teachings weird, but the community as a whole is very family-orientated and help the youth succeed. Most of them go into business or tech. I work with a lot of them. Okay. I mean, that's the community aspect of it. You know what I mean? Any faith community wants to live in peace, like a harmony. It's gonna be harmonious if it's a faith community. But then it's the level underneath. It's like, what do they believe? Mormons all support this Zionist bullshit, so I can never respect them. I can never respect them. I can respect them as people, like day-to-day life, shake their hand, do business with them, blah blah blah.
Just desert. It's its own world up here, really. I got all sorts of responses, actually, when I said I was doing this series. So this building right here is the church.
So much of my life decisions, where to go to school, if I should serve a mission, who I should date, who I should marry, all that is coming from a direct connection to God.
Are you guys gonna go up into the favelas?
Yeah.
Really? I think missionaries are some of the most courageous people. A lot of non-Mormons would think a lot of Mormons are polygamous.
Yes.
Explain that to us. These are original pioneer homes here. So is that a threat to the Mormons that have been here forever?
Oh, did he?
No bars.
I doubt that, Kaiser.
People discourage us and make us feel bad for that, but it's just its own unique culture, and I enjoy living here and participating.
You could say this about Jewish people, but underneath.
This is one of the more famous overlooks of the city.
So Brigham Young came here and said, this is the place.
Yes, yeah. So for
Brigham
most
Young.
of the history of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, we've been on the move. We started in New York with Joseph Smith. When he received what we like to call the first vision, he received a vision from God the Father and his son Jesus Christ.
Yep.
And was told that none of the churches or Christian churches on the earth at the current time had the full grasp or the full doctrine.
Okay.
Yeah, this is what William told me. Yep.
So Joseph Smith was.
This is what William said. This is exactly what William said. That the different Christianity has like a broken glass. Different Christian sects have a piece of the truth. Piece of the truth. But Joseph Smith apparently has all the truth. And they're going to rectify the church, fam. They're going to restore the church.
Commanded that at a later time.
But really, they mean the Jewish temple.
To restore this church back to the earth. And that's what the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is today. And we settled in Ohio for a little while. We got kicked out, uprooted from there. We settled in Missouri for a while. We were also uprooted from there. There was an extermination order from the governor of Missouri who said, you know, if it's legal to kill Mormons, to get them out of the state, to drive them from the state. And so we were driven from Missouri.
Okay.
Went to Illinois, we were driven out from there, and eventually we settled here in the valley of the Great Salt Lake. And that's, we're going to be saying this is the place.
1850 something?
1847.
1847. And so this was just desert?
This was all just desert. There were native people here, but other than that, it was not occupied by anybody else. It was part of Mexico at the time.
Was it?
So the Saints had left the United States, come to Mexico in hopes that they could finally settle down and practice the religion in a place that was...
I'll tell you what, they would not have persecuted them if Joseph Smith hadn't claimed to be divine prophet. A divine prophet. In this day and age, what the hell? He didn't perform any miracles? Nothing?
We were able to do that, and as you can see, this beautiful city, it's the sacrifice of the pioneers who came all the way across the country on foot.
pizza cheese from Castello, cubed mozzarella. Our perfect...
You were saying a lot of people right now, whenever a camera comes out around Mormons, they're going to put them under the bus for the most part. Is that how you feel?
Yeah, so I go to BYU. That's the college I go to, and right now there's kind of a TikTok trend of people going up to BYU students and asking them questions about the church and trying to catch them off guard and make them look like they're silly or
I asked William. He sent me
obviously,
pages
our beliefs are
of
peculiar,
DMs about
but
it.
that doesn't mean they're not valid. And I think that's kind of a sad thing that you see nowadays, is that people are trying really hard to make members of the church look like their beliefs aren't valid and that they're not allowed to believe a certain way.
Is it because you said earlier it's a high demand religion, meaning there's a lot you're responsible for?
Yeah, one of our prophets, 2 prophets ago, President Gordon B. Hinckley, he was interviewed by 60 Minutes at one point by Mike Wallace, and he asked that exact question, like, hey, you guys are a high
BYU,
religion. And President Hinckley, he responded, it's a beautiful thing. Not a lot of religions nowadays demand a lot of their members and demand them to try to improve the world, to improve themselves. It's one of my favorite parts, is that
Hey,
it does
Vected, what
demand
up?
a lot of me, and it demands that I become a better person.
Yeah,
and
they
I
do,
strive to
Kaza.
make the world a better place.
Right, so by having those frameworks to work within and the discipline that it takes to live like that, you feel like it's a net benefit. But there's got to be some cons to it, right? Or
Yeah. So I mean,
The thing with their living
average-
prophets is, you have to take their word for it. They don't seem to have to qualify what makes them divinely appointed prophet. And I asked William about, like, do they have black prophets? They've never had a black prophet. They say they allowed black Mormons only recently, not recently as in like the last couple of years, but recently in contemporary history, let black people into the Mormon church, and none of their prophets are black.
college student experiences, going to parties, drinking,
Oh, yeah,
experimenting
recently,
with
yeah, he was
different
telling us.
substances, and that's something that I miss out on if I feel, obviously I was raised in the church, and so I've never really had a desire to do those things.
Okay.
Someone from the outside would be like, oh, this Brock guy, he's missing out on lots of college experiences that the
They don't qualify. They don't prove anything. They don't do miracles. They don't. There's no evidence. Like, even if it's made up evidence, there's not even made up evidence. Apparently, the proof of Joseph Smith being a prophet is because he's able to read something. He's able to read some gobbledygook manuscript or something, and he translated a manuscript and no one can translate or some shit. I'm gonna have to go check my DMs again. But the Joseph Smith's qualifications to be a prophet or leader were so minor. They were so stupid.
average person would get.
Tea, coffee, no.
Yeah.
Alcohol, no.
Yeah. Another aspect that people kind of overlook, it's not just all don'ts, it's also do's.
No tea, coffee. This. Mormons aren't allowed no tea, no coffee.
We encourage a very healthy lifestyle. In Utah, that's very easy with the beautiful mountains.
So is that why Salt Lake City is so nice as far as it's very clean? Compared to other American cities at this moment in time, it seems like it's better off. Is it because of the Mormon element, would you say? Because there is all that discipline and order?
Mormon.
Or what explains it?
Yeah, I think people who are in the church, who are raised in the church, you grew up with a lot of discipline. And even if you decide to leave the church and don't participate anymore, you still have those values as the basis of your life. And you grew up in a household where education was important, taking care of your family. All of these beautiful family values you learn in the church are still established in your life, even if you decide to leave. And so Salt Lake and the whole Utah area is beautiful, and in my opinion, it's a divine place because of people who are willing to live a disciplined lifestyle.
Okay. Doing some research, though, I did see your crime rates have gone up a lot. It's actually not crime rates per 100,000.
Here's what I say, and I told this to William. Let's just say you're not someone who's religious. So you're an outsider looking at religious people, and you're saying, okay, so as a religious person, you're betting on faith, right? On faith. You're betting your life to this religion, hoping it's the right one, it's the real one. You're betting, right? Christianity is so fragmented, even Mormons admit it. It's so fragmented. How could you make that bet as a betting man? Let's just say you do the haram betting. You want to bet like $100 that this is the one right religion. It's so fragmented. How are you going to make that bet, fam?
Homicide, larceny, petty theft stuff, but the overall is pretty high right now. Would you attribute that to what, would you say?
Bruh. Hench. Natero. That's fucking Natero, fam. That's fucking Natero. Live action Natero. Live action Natero.
There's a variety of factors. In 2002, Utah hosted the Olympics, the Winter Olympics, and before that time, Utah was generally pretty unknown among the American populace. And so when people saw how amazing Utah was during the Olympics, tons of people started moving here who didn't have those shared values that a lot of people in Utah had. And so over time, there's been kind of an eroding of the values of the church and the community.
Because of how his brain works.
So that's just one aspect of it. Of a religious aspect, politically, there definitely has been a change in the guard of what political parties are in control.
What have Mormons done for us lately? Nah, William's not those people that converts. He's not one of those people. He's brainwashed.
So a lot of people would attribute certain changes to political party changes.
Okay.
He's just another Christian.
There has been an uptick.
He's just another Christian. They all sing the same tune. They say we're different. We're not like Catholics. We're not like these guys. For all the posturing and shit like that, in the end, they do actually share a common belief that Islam needs to be eradicated and we're a false religion and all that.
That's just because Utah, it's one of the fastest growing states, and that brings a lot of change.
So is that a threat to the Mormons that have been here forever? Multi-generational Mormons, do they feel like that is a threat, all these people moving in?
Some people would say that.
Okay.
Most members of the church used to live downtown
Salt Lake City.
in a neighborhood called the Avenues. With all this change, there's been kind of an urban flight away from downtown, and people who weren't raised in the church have kind of taken over the downtown Salt Lake City area and live in these, all these pioneer homes, original pioneer settlements where...
These are original pioneer homes here.
Yes, this is right just directly north of Temple Square, and so yeah, some of these are going to be...
Beautiful.
Yeah, they're obviously renovated, but...
It's really a beautiful city.
It is, yeah.
And with the mountains kicking up right out of it.
Dude,
So
there's
this building
gaps
right
between
here
the houses,
is the
fam.
church.
Yeah, this is the office building. You have tons of different offices for accounting, for missionary departments, family departments.
So what's the church offering? It seems like a big apparatus there.
Yeah, evicted.
So, I mean, it's a
Yeah,
worldwide
evicted.
organization, and finances, welfare, temples. We're building temples all over the world. We're building new meeting houses. There's a lot that goes in on church headquarters. Over here on the right, this is the church history library.
Yeah,
There's
I've
a
got his essays
project
as well in DM.
that started a couple years ago called the Joseph Smith Papers, and it's one of the largest public histories of primary source documents anywhere in the world.
This is your conference center.
Yeah, this is where all of our major conferences happen, where the prophets and apostles speak to us, and it's a massive building.
So by being a member to the church, do you have to pay in a certain amount every year? Like what funds all of this?
Yeah, so we believe in the law of the tithe, and members
Law of the tithe. Here we go. Listen. This is where the cult aspect comes in.
of the church donate 10% of their income to the church.
You do that.
I do that, yeah. Even as a college student, the church doesn't necessarily need the funds to run anymore, but we still believe that's something, kind of like with coffee, it's not something that maybe makes sense on a secular level or, with study.
Where's that
but it
money
is something
going,
that
guys?
We do, and we believe that blesses us as we participate in that.
They say they don't need
so
the money.
someone in their
Where's the
career
money
here
going?
will pay federal, state tax, and then also, I don't know if you call it LDS tax or what you call it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't necessarily,
How are these Christians particularly? And I've had William argue with me about jizya, the tax, the non-Muslim tax. Zakat is the Muslim tax, which is way higher. Jizya, the lesser tax. How are these niggas complaining about Yeah, Christians always bring that. When you got the LDS 10% tax, that is insane, guys.
Look at it as like
Okay.
I think most people look at taxes as a negative. We look at tithing as a positive. And the church handles its money very effectively.
Okay.
You're not having to worry about, oh, I'm spending money and one of the apostles is funding some trip to, Mexico to go on a vacation with his family. It's the money that is spent to the church goes towards, first of all the different things that the church is building. Right now, obviously, you can see our historic Salt Lake temple's under renovation. Funds go to things like that. They go to the church's universities. The church invests a lot of its tithing money so that way in the future, if there are times when the world economy is crashed or this and that, they can still run church finances, can still bless the lives of church members, even if there isn't opportunities for growth financially in the world.
But by being part of the church, what do you receive financially from the church? Like, they're not going to pay your health care or anything like that, right? Or
I mean, so if the church has a very deep welfare system where if you are
on donations, tax write-off.
you go to your local
Jesus will save you if you come
bishops,
there.
the local, I guess for other religions it would be like a pastor or their leader. You can receive financial assistance from the church so you can continue to, live a lifestyle of getting back on your feet. But also the church's universities, that's a huge thing that most members of the church who attend university and through the church's educational system don't go into debt for college, which is huge in today's world when you're striving to get on your feet, I guess.
so you don't go into debt at all with your college?
Some people might if they don't have, I had money saved up, but the tuition is extremely cheap.
Is he currently
private Christian universities.
does he currently identify as Mormon? Or did he leave and now they're trying to bill him? Because that is fucked up. That is fucked up. Okay.
The West obviously is known for its earthquakes, and so there's a great fear that if there was a big earthquake, there'd be a lot of damage to the temple. They're placing base isolators under the temple, so that way if an earthquake happens, the temple can move with the earth and not have as much damage. So
Beautiful.
just about 6 years after the saints came into the valley,
They think that Jesus will come to America. That's what they believe. The temple the Jews believe is going to be in Israel and Jesus is going to come there. I think Willie said that actually the temple is in America. Jesus will descend on America.
And so there's a few, we call these pioneer era temples. There's one down in a place called Manti, another in St. George, and another in Logan, where they're these original, very castle-looking, original pioneer temples.
Paris, Rome, New York. TUI city break sorted.
And you have a very famous
Like the Star of David over
Yes, so this is the Tabernacle on Temple Square.
there. Dude, that sounds like Satan music. That's so morbid. That's so morbid. Sounds like Satan music. Don't that sound like doom and gloom?
Ghana? Okay. Thank you, ladies.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
This is Ohio gozaimasu. Wait.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, ladies.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Oh, good to see you. Okay. But she said that was Ohio gozaimasu or some shit.
So 16.5 million Mormons in the world, correct?
Yeah, so this last conference, we just got above 17 million. And over half of that is outside the United States. So the stereotype is obviously somebody who looks like me with blonde hair, blue eyes, and is white.
Right.
But for the most part, most members of the church now are not, white Utahns. They're mostly people from around the world who resonate with the message of the restored gospel. We believe a sign of a true church is that it's a church that strives to grow and strives to spread throughout the whole world and have people actually hear its message. So
that answers my next question. Why do you proselytize? Like, why do you want to convince other people to believe in your ways?
Well, first off, it's doctrinally accurate. Christ taught his apostles that they needed to spread and fill the whole world with the gospel. And so we believe that by doing missionary work, we're spreading the true church. Also, another aspect is, when I was graduating high school and I'd grown up in the church, I was blessed with so much. I want to share that with other people. That's a huge motivation for missionary work as well, is that we believe that we've been blessed with so much. We need to go out and help the world and spread
the mainstream Christianity believes Mormons to be heretical. This is why Mormons always talk about their structure. They always talk about their hierarchy, their structure, their charitable work, but they never talk about what they believe differently to the mainstream Bible, like King James Bible or
Jesus Christ to as many people as we can.
So if somebody doesn't believe in LDS, they're not Mormon, do you feel like they just don't know yet? They just haven't come around, they haven't figured it out yet, they haven't been introduced to it the right way? Or what are your thoughts about that? Say a guy like me, like,
yeah,
I'm not Mormon. Do you feel like, oh, Peter's just missing out on something? Or
no, I mean, we don't condemn anybody with how they were raised or how they choose to believe. We just we only invite. And if people don't necessarily come to that conclusion to join the church in this life, we believe that God still has a plan for them in the next life. A common question in Christianity is what happens to people in authoritarian states like North Korea, where they have no access to religion. And in our church, we have that answer in that in the next
oh my God, North Korea.
And come to an understanding
okay,
the gospel of Jesus Christ, and they choose to accept it in the next life as well.
let me ask you this, Brock. I'm very much an
Tell me guys,
but I do.
what's Russia and North Korea done? Russia, North Korea, and China done to America lately? They done nothing. They done nothing. It's either help the blacks, help the Jews, and it's either hate the Russians, hate the North Koreans, hate the Chinese. Like, dude, come up with something new, fam.
I live by the 10 Commandments, let's say. Do to others what I want done to me. I'm not going to steal, these sort of things. So
Yeah.
by definition, I'm sort of doing the religious thing, but I'm not part of a church. I'm not part of an organized religion. And the reason I'm not is because I very much like to be free. I want to jump into every different group I can.
Yeah.
I want to listen to them, learn from them, but not be, maybe captured is the wrong word, but beholden
Yeah.
to a certain ideology necessarily, because I wouldn't do well in that environment, I don't think. Or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, that's like a common, we'll have this way, that's a very common, like as a missionary, you meet a lot of people who, they'd rather just go to like an evangelical church where you go into like kind of a big warehouse, there's good music, there's a good inspirational message. But I think
What was the music playing in their temple,
it's
fam?
a blessing to be able to have a prophet who literally, we believe, receives revelation from God and can share
Where is that
messages
revelation?
with us and help us in this life. That's something you're not going to get unless you're, you know, inside of a belief system.
Okay, so the prophet right now is also called the president, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and he's the 17th president, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it started with Joseph Smith, went to Brigham Young. He was in charge for like 30 years, I believe.
Yeah, but he took over, Joseph Smith was murdered. And so most of our prophets now, they take over when the previous leader passes away.
Yeah, okay.
And most of that happens now, luckily, you know, when they're in an older age, where back then Joseph Smith was murdered, so Brigham Young was in control for a long time.
So by saying revelations from God, you're saying your prophet is channeling the message to the disciples, basically.
Bring him,
it's,
bump them off.
If you think of prophets in the Old Testament and the apostles in the New Testament, we literally believe that the men who serve as these prophets and apostles, they literally are the exact same thing that were in the Old and New Testament. And that church government and formation that Jesus Christ established when he was on the earth with his apostles needed to be restored and back on the earth.
Okay.
Because people need, the citizens of the world need that constant communication with God. And God doesn't decide, okay, I'm going to write everything down in a Bible, and then I'm never going to talk to you ever again. So we believe, yeah, revelation's a real thing, and we need that connection with God.
Have you ever been tempted to leave the church, or it's always been very clear and like certain where you're at?
For me, I've never had the temptation to leave the church.
Wait, so any kid can just play the organ? If mass isn't going on, anyone can sit and play the organ. Church is open, at least in Catholic churches. There to keep the kiddies occupied. The organs that play in churches, the sound makes me feel depressed. Like it's sucking my fucking soul out. It sounds like fucking funeral music, guys.
Obviously, I've questioned certain beliefs. There's a lot of very icky history. I wanted to be a history teacher, and so I studied a lot of that.
Sure.
And it doesn't look good. And a lot of people will take this history and say, hey, I can't be a member of the church anymore because this one prophet or this one apostle did a certain thing.
Okay.
And that's really tragic because at the end of the day, the most important part of being a member of this church is that connection to Christ. The prophet obviously helps facilitate that, but they can make mistakes. The apostles and
They keep talking about a connection to Christ, connection to Christ. Connection, what about connection to God, fam? Say the word, connection to God. It's all about worshipping men, worship Joseph Smith, worship Brigham Young, worship the 17 prophets, worship. Say the word God, fam.
The Old Testament and the New Testament, they made lots of mistakes, and the Lord rebuked them for that. And so in this icky history, it might be a temptation to say, okay, this person's done something wrong, I'm going to leave. But at the end of the day, the most important part is that connection to Jesus Christ.
Do you think a God can be sacrificed on a cross? Something so humiliating and embarrassing. A God can be sacrificed on a cross, guys.
This video is sponsored
Use your
by
fucking
Ritual.
head at
My
least.
travel schedule often leaves me missing out on some key nutrients, especially when I'm in food deserts deep in Appalachia or out on a remote Native American reservation.
Appalachia.
Ritual products
That's how
are
you
made
say
of
it.
clean ingredients and key nutrients.
Appalachia. Oh, he's actually advertising Appalachia.
Ritual within the
Okay.
As Mormons,
Yeah.
and in doing research, some people said, don't say Mormons, say LDS. Other people said, say Mormons.
LDS.
What is it? What am I missing? What do I need to learn?
So obviously the nickname Mormons comes from a volume of scripture we have called the Book of Mormon.
Sure.
And it was a nickname given to people who were actually antagonistic towards the church.
Eldians.
And they called us Mormons as kind of like a joke, like, oh, you don't believe in the Bible, you believe in this other Book of Mormon, when we believe in all the modern scripture. Our current prophet, President Russell M. Nelson, he, in one of his first talks as prophet of the church, he gave a message where he said basically people are misunderstanding that members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, when you hear just Mormon, you don't think Christian. You don't think of a church that could be seen as the Lord's restored
I
church.
do. I think Christian.
That's good, but I mean, I think a lot of people think Mormon is its own thing. Mormonism's kind of its own bubble, when in reality, our most fundamental belief is that we're just the restored version of Christ's church. And so by emphasizing the full name of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, obviously that's a mouthful, it's a long name, but using that full name, it emphasizes that we believe we are the Church of Jesus Christ, literally, and that Latter-day Saint is the description of the people who are striving to live
So
God's
if I
teachings.
call you Mormon, is that okay?
Yeah, you can say that and people would know what you're talking about, but if I were...
Does that insult you?
Restored because they believe it was fragmented. That's what William told me, that the truth was fragmented, which we all believe is the case with Christianity, because Catholics, Protestants, they're all shattered. And he goes, they're trying to restore the truth, bring the old gospel, restore the old Injil or gospel, as they say, the truth of what Christianity is.
Insult me, but it would, with current teachings from our prophet, he encourages us to say, oh, actually, you know, I love the prophet Mormon in the Book of Mormon, but in reality, we're the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Okay, is the Book of Mormon sort of like the New Testament? Does it come off the New Testament?
Yeah, so it takes place kind of in the same period as, you know, a lot of older scripture. We believe kind of the heading under the Book of Mormon is another testament of Jesus Christ. So we have the Old Testament, the New Testament, and then we have this another testament of Jesus Christ.
And that's
Another testament.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's a new religion. Joseph Smith took these doctrines from the tablets, right, that he was... God, sorry, my history's really bad. So,
you're fine.
So he received these
Yeah, this is what I was talking about.
And he transcribed them into the Book of Mormon.
He apparently was able to decipher some fucking random tablets, but I don't know what he was transcribing, and then he conveyed that, and only he could do that apparently.
Correct? So
Yes,
that happened in the 1800s. So the tablets came from much earlier
Yes,
time?
yeah, so we
like right
believe-
after the New Testament?
Yeah, about that time period. So
Okay.
we believe that these tablets, they had histories of ancient people living in the Americas.
Okay.
People have kind of tried to come up with theories where that is in the Americas. We don't have an exact answer where that is.
Okay.
But it's this record of people living in the Americas, their prophets, their apostles, and the culmination of the Book of Mormon is when Jesus Christ, after he's ascended to heaven and the old world, he comes and he visits the people in the Book of Mormon. And
What language was these tablets in?
Okay.
which is a very powerful thing. And Joseph Smith, he just translated that, and that was a huge blessing to us because we have
It
more.
makes you think that he was the only guy that could translate it. What language was it in? Why did no other people got access to these tablets? Like, have some secular or outsider come and translate. What language was this in? Gobbledygook or some shit? Where are these tablets at?
More scripture and more understanding of Christ's life and his principles. And you can see up here, I think you can catch up there on
the Rosetta Stone. The Rosetta Stone helped archaeologists decipher hieroglyphics, right? As far as I remember, the Rosetta Stone did that, and that's on record. We now know what hieroglyphics and things mean, right? Why isn't these tablets on wider record? Like, why isn't there a museum with these tablets? And scholars agreeing that this is the translation. Where are these fucking tablets, man?
ledge, but there's a statue of Jesus Christ, which is a very big symbol of our church. It's the Christus statue.
You don't have Christ on cross anywhere, do you?
So we don't. That's a piece of our history. We kind of celebrate the fact that Christ has risen more, so you won't see members of the church wearing crosses. That's a criticism other Christians will point at us and say, hey, you don't believe in the cross and this, that. But we definitely believe the cross happened. But we like to celebrate the fact that he's resurrected.
Why would you I agree with him though. I disagree with him from optics position. Why would you wear a dead God around your neck? What does that say? A dead God, fam, on a cross. What does that say about your God?
So our symbol is, the risen Lord with his outstretched hands calling people to him with the nail prints in his feet and in his hands. So that's kind of our main symbol.
The second coming is a huge theme with LDS, right?
Exactly, yeah.
But they've been talking about it since mid-19th century. What are your thoughts on the second coming?
So I personally, a lot of older members of the church really get excited about the idea. I like to focus more on my relationship with Christ now versus trying to say, okay, because there was an eclipse a couple of weeks ago, that means the second coming is right around the corner.
So some of the older LDS members are thinking that?
Yeah, they kind of get a hyper fixation on aspects of our doctrine that don't necessarily improve their life. It just is something they call it kind of quote unquote like deep doctrine, to try to look through the scriptures, find little hints of this will happen before the second coming, this will happen. But if you listen to our current prophets,
that's the thing, though. That's the thing. That's also disingenuous, vected, because before Christ came to redeem everyone, they used to sacrifice cattle, goats, and cattle in the temple, and then when Christ came, he redeemed everyone for their sins. His blood sacrifice redeemed everyone for their sins. So animal sacrifice had stopped, but Old Testament says even when Jesus comes back and restores the temple, blood sacrifice will resume. What happened to the blood sacrifice for everyone's sins? Why is animal sacrifice going to resume if Christ died for everyone's sins?
Their lives spiritually, they're not necessarily saying, okay, go out and buy, a giant bomb shelter and build it underground because the second coming is happening and this and that.
Okay, but I read that Mormons quite often have a year of food reservoirs and money saved.
Yeah.
Just in case. Is that commonplace?
That was in the early 2000s from one of our prophets, President Hinckley.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people interpreted that kind of direction or revelation as, oh, that means the second coming's right around the corner. You got to have that prepared for the second coming. But in 2008, we had this huge recession where a lot of people were out of work and this and that. And so I kind of look at that as protection during that time.
Right, just being prepared for whatever in case something happens.
Yeah.
You're set.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. How you doing?
turned the plates to a cave. Okay. Wait. Angel Moroni. Moroni sounds Italian. Why are they Italian? Wait, why are they Italian fucking angels? Angel Moroni showed Joseph Smith where to find the golden plates. They were buried in the hill Camorra. 4 years later, Joseph and his wife Emma went in a wagon to get the plates. The fuck? Dude, Moroni sounds fucking Italian, fam. Angels are Italian now.
We're entering Utah County now, which is named after...
Okay. Let's stop. Okay, let me read this, guys. I'm sorry. According to the Book of Mormon, the angel Moroni was a pre-Columbian warrior who buried the golden plates. After an angel who died. He became wait, men who die become angels? Christians don't believe that. He became an angel who was tasked with directing Smith to their location. According to Smith, he then returned the golden plates to Moroni after they were translated. As of 8th time, Moroni still had plates, and what the fuck is this? It sounds like a Jason and the Argonauts. It sounds like one of those Greek mythology or some shit. What in the hell? A warrior who died and became an angel? What the fuck is going on, man? It's a cult. It's like Christian version of Scientology.
Utah Lake, which is this freshwater lake out here on the right.
Okay.
And then obviously to the north of us, we have Salt Lake. And running between them is a river we call the Jordan River. And the early saints saw this as a new holy land because you literally have a freshwater lake, just like
Dude, are they actually saying that because they call it a Jordan River here, that the temple is here in America and not all the way in the fucking Middle East where the Jordan River is? These people are off their fucking rocker. They probably think that because there's a place called Palestine in America, Texas, that's all they need to know that the fucking temple is going to be in America. Bloody hell, man. These fruitcakes.
You have Galilee's the freshwater lake, and then you have the Jordan River running to the Dead Sea with the salt water. And so the saints kind of saw this kind of geographical comparison to holy lands in the past, and so they did kind of relate themselves to the early Israelites who were looking for their holy land.
Okay, now big tech has taken over. I saw Adobe.
So, this makes no sense. How can one holy land be in two places at the same time? How can one holy land be in two places at the same time? These fucking fruitcakes.
Business down here.
This is called Silicon Slopes. This is Lehi, Utah. You have a lot of very big tech industry that have taken hold in this area because of what they can offer to their employees, the recreation, the good family environment. You also have large educational institutions filling these tech jobs.
So this is becoming more Mormon-centric down here as far as the population.
Yes, Lehi maybe not necessarily. It used to probably be more. There's a lot of people moving in for these tech jobs, but like once we get, you can see way up there on the mountain is the Y for Brigham Young University. Once we get kind of in the shadow of the Y there, that'll be huge.
So more Mormons are living down here where we're going than
They control the media, Kaiser.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Salt Lake City is very expensive. You know, I've talked about 2002, the Olympics. People have moved in from out of state. It's a lot more secular and
yeah, same guy evicted.
So you'll find the strongest congregations, the strongest groups of congregations called stakes. You'll find those in Utah County, which is the county just directly south of Salt Lake, and Davis County, which is the county just north of Salt Lake.
Okay, so interesting. So a lot of the Mormons just moved south and north.
Yeah.
Got out of the original Zion.
Yeah, well, and the interesting thing is a lot of these settlements like Provo, Brigham City, Ogden, were actually...
They can get their message out there though, Kaiser.
Sent out groups to make
push their message, like William.
Cities. So where we're going in Provo, we'll have that same kind of
Shouldn't William be
wide streets,
religious
buildings in the center, and it's
an LDS, the Twitter, instead of
Provo is
Sony
old.
PlayStation.
Yeah, it's been there for a long time.
Okay.
What's he doing?
A lot of non-Mormons, including myself until recently, until I started researching LDS, would think a lot of Mormons are polygamous.
Yes.
Explain that to us.
So yeah, our church has a history of practicing polygamy, and it's something that Joseph Smith kind of introduced quietly when he was on the East Coast. And then once the saints came to Utah and could practice freely, it was an open practice. And plural marriage was a thing that was taught and encouraged, and people practiced it for a long time in our church. And then when Utah was in the process of becoming a state, people in the United States government was very unsure of polygamy and did not like that whole aspect of the church. And so after a while in lawsuits and stuff, the church was threatened to lose their property and their temples if they didn't stop practicing polygamy. And so the church stopped practicing polygamy back in the 1890s. And ever since we haven't, there are certain people within the church who believe that they shouldn't have stopped practicing polygamy. And if they do believe that, they're excommunicated. We do not have any tolerance for people who practice polygamy. But there are what are called fundamentalist Latter-day Saints who have left the church and formed their own church where they still do practice polygamy. Their kind of like church headquarters for a time was in southern Utah, and that's Warren Jeffs, who's a common name. And his brand of plural marriage is very different from the history of my church's practice of plural marriage. Plural marriage was still you dated people and came to that conclusion of deciding to get married together. It was not arranged marriages. And you can read hundreds upon hundreds of personal accounts from women and people who have practiced polygamy in our church history and come to that conclusion that they really felt
they excommunicated them, apparently, the old timers.
Where in the FLDS tradition and a lot of other fundamentalist traditions, the prophet
FLDS
to marry who, and it's all arranged marriages, which can get very messy quickly when you start marrying people who are below marriage age, which is something that Warren Jeffs got involved with, and it got very messy.
And so FLDS is under 1% of all Mormons.
Yes, and we don't even...
And you wouldn't even consider them Mormon, right?
We
and they wouldn't consider you Mormon.
Yeah, they view our church as apostatized because we don't practice that.
So they got their own internal beef.
A lot of other fundamentalist documents, or doctrines that are very,
They got their own fundamentalist beefs.
We don't believe in at all anymore.
Sure.
And so there's a huge distinction between us and fundamentalists.
So is it that they believe they follow the original prophecy, where your prophecy evolves with every new president or prophet that comes into power?
Exactly. Yeah.
So
evolves.
They believe that
there is no
they're
truth.
a huge fan of Brigham Young and all of his teachings. And they're more likely to teach his prophecies and his doctrines that apply mostly to the 1800s and the time when the saints were in the pioneer settlements. Where now, the beautiful thing about our church is we have a living prophet who can administer the church based on how the world is today, and hold truth to truth, or hold firmly to truth and administer the church in that way.
It's not truth if it keeps changing.
Trying to teach how the church was back in the 80s.
How is it the truth if it keeps changing?
One of the biggest problems in our society is food waste. But now,
this is the same problem mainstream Christianity has. They kept trying to appeal to the masses, so they kept twisting it and twisting it. There were so many inconsistencies.
We got rugby going out here on the right.
And how big is BYU?
It's about 30,000 students.
Oh, wow.
So it's a full-size Division I university.
And you just looked up online percentage of Mormons here, and you said 90%.
Yeah, it's over 90%. So this is a place where you'll find a lot of members of the church.
And so with relationships, someone's a student here, they can, say a man, they can date however many women they want.
Yeah.
So many Mormons with BYU.
It's all.
Yeah, I mean, it's named after Brigham Young, so.
You find attractive, physically and intellectually, going on dates, and
women can go on as many dates as they want. That's not frowned upon?
Girls can ask males on dates. It's basically everything is normal about the dating culture. Dating apps, there's an LDS specific like Tinder app where you swipe up or swipe down on people. The only thing that's different is that you're not going to find people just sleeping with people left and right. It's all...
But keep halal.
Can they hold hands?
Yeah, kissing, holding hands.
It's enough.
Anything beyond kissing?
Yeah, making out is, there's kind of this acronym called NICMO, non-committal makeout. And so you'll find,
NICMO.
instead of sleeping with people, you'll find people will do a non-committal makeout. They'll just make out with somebody.
My
You can have on
days.
your Tinder profile.
They get married quick though, yeah.
Yeah, and people know what that is in Utah, and that's something I don't want to really. I don't participate in that, but
Sure.
that's part of the culture.
So it's its own world
NICMO.
up here, really.
Yeah.
Ask, hey guys, go ask
all a
Willie
valid
about
belief
NICMO.
system. It's peculiar to people who aren't used to it, and
Why didn't he do NICMO with the girl he fancied?
people kind of pounce on and try to discourage us and make us feel bad for that, but it's just its whole own unique culture, and I enjoy living here and participating in that.
Do you guys feel under threat at all? Like people are trying to
Here's some missionaries right here.
right stomp on your values, way of life, that sort of thing?
Yeah, and what I'm talking about is those TikToks where they interview BYU students. They'll ask stuff like, would you rather, I mean, it's all logical fallacy. It's like, would you rather have a puppy murdered or denounce your beliefs? And it's like, obviously you're never going to be in a situation where you're going to have to be to be doing that, but it's all to make, people will say, oh, I'd kill the puppy because I believe in my beliefs, and it makes us look stupid because obviously you want to have an animal live, but at the same time,
Treat differently.
it's a way to try to make us look stupid and make us seem stupid for being so firm in our beliefs because we really believe in this church. This is kind of the playing fields for the missionaries. So you can see missionaries playing soccer, playing volleyball over here.
They're all going to be sent overseas or around the country.
Yeah, so they're just in Provo for their training.
Okay.
And then up here, this is the...
I heard when Willie's girlfriend dumped him, Willie apparently moved off to a different state and no longer talks about his LDS Mormon or where he be located now. He lives in Utah now.
Provo Temple, and this is where when you're at the MTC or
I don't think he cares about LDS anymore.
Participate in the sacred rituals.
And that's Moroni on the top, right?
There's the angel Moroni. He's one of the prophets in the Book of Mormon, and we put him at the top of our temples as a symbolism of like he's calling people to the restored gospel, and the gospel is being declared throughout the world.
So do you have to be Mormon to go to school here?
You don't. Some of our athletes come here for other reasons other than religious values. You do pay a little bit more on tuition just because tuition is subsidized by tithing, and so that's kind of a way of
Kaiser. What about Will's parents?
For you?
What's
so
that
right
situation?
Now, winter of 2024, I'll pay $3,300 for a semester, and then housing is probably about $300 a month, and you share it with
oh, that's
with people.
great.
So
Mormon rates. Mormon rates for Mormons.
with how highly ranked BYU's educational programs are, it is an absolute steal compared to other private Christian colleges like TCU, Liberty University. You're paying $40,000 for a semester, where you're paying $40,000 for all 4 years of your education here.
Totally different vibe than Salt Lake City.
Yeah, people call Provo and the suburbs the bubble because everything that happens within Utah is just so serene. It kind of feels like the movie The Truman Show. I don't know if you've heard of that.
The Truman
Where everybody
Show.
seems
Great
like they're
movie.
so fake and put in a purpose to make everything.
It's like you said, if you went to your masjid, the community would match you up with a girl within a week. Same with them. Yeah.
Everything feels so surreal and, you know, pristine, but everybody here is just living their life and doing their best to live Latter-day Saint teachings, and in direct result, you have a beautiful place where there's great values and people are improving the world and building the kingdom of God. So.
Okay, so one of the best language schools in the country, is that true? Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah, so this is the Missionary Training Center. This is where before you begin your service as a missionary, you come here, you report here, and English missionaries as well as language missionaries, and you spend about 3 weeks if you're an English missionary learning teaching techniques, but if you're learning a language, you spend about 6 to 9 weeks learning a language before you fly out to a new place. So yeah, those are
Is he estranged from his family or something?
Have you been on your mission yet?
No.
Where are you guys going?
Brazil.
You pumped?
Super.
You fired up for Brazil?
Oh my days.
Like the MTC is super fun, it's super great, but it's also like we have to pretty much stay like right here. And Sao Paulo has like 22 million people, and so like, and your town has like 8 million.
Yeah.
Right?
Are you guys gonna go up into the favelas?
Yeah.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of
You scared at all or no?
We'll be all right.
Yeah.
God protects these young men and their mission and helps them spread the word. So
That's very cool, guys. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
thanks,
Take care.
elders.
That is so cool. I think missionaries are some of the most courageous people.
It takes
They're-
a lot of courage.
They're
Yeah.
gonna go rip up into the favelas of Sao Paulo.
Yeah.
From the religious perspective, you're like, God, I'm doing the right thing. God's protecting me. I'm not gonna worry about this at all.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's training videos about being situationally aware, making sure you're not going into places that you're for sure going to get attacked or anything. But we do believe there's a sense of protection when
Right.
people see the white shirts. Obviously, those missionaries, they're about to go, exercise, so they're in normal clothes. But when they're in their, missionary attire, people see them and they recognize that that spiritual calling they have, and we believe God protects them. And it's very rare to hear of missionary gets killed in Sao Paulo, Brazil because of his beliefs. So it's a very, very
I love it. I have a whole newfound respect for you guys because I've seen you in all corners of the globe in some sketchy areas.
Yeah.
And to not just to hang out there, but to actually talk to people and try to teach them something new or try to change their way of thinking.
Yeah.
That's next level.
I mean, if any of your viewers they see missionaries, feel free to talk to them.
Yeah.
If you're on my mission, we helped people move, we mowed people's lawns, picked weeds, we taught.
But
It's
if
all these different
if
things.
you're gonna mow my lawn,
Yeah.
then you want something in return, right? You're gonna like say, hey, Peter, you gotta listen to me on this one.
Well, we're not gonna say, one for one, if you do this, you have to go to church or this. But we believe that by being serviceable and being as true disciples of Jesus Christ, doing what he would do, people will recognize that serviceable attitude in us, and they're gonna be interested and maybe try to take lessons from missionaries. This is kind of the main courtyard of the Missionary Training Center. You can see
As you
these
go the
flagpoles,
night
they usually
trail,
have flags up of
something
all the
fun
different
for the
nations
youth.
that we're sending missionaries to, but you can see these missionaries spending time outside studying. They pay actors to kind of go around on the grounds, and you can have missionaries approach them and do practice approaching people and talking to them. There's some of them are waving.
That's great.
Being a missionary, being in the Missionary Training Center, I mean, we talked to these elders. It's probably the prime of their life. It was one of the greatest experiences I've had in my life, is just spending time in here. It's probably one of the highest density places where people are constantly praying. So the spirit is just very pertinent. You feel it. You feel the power of God and the power of the mission. You learn languages, learn how to study the scriptures more effectively, and learn how to.
Well, I can see this.
2-year holiday, of course, the best.
To
Yeah.
strangers in a foreign land out of your language is a great one to have.
Yeah.
It's not easy. You have to overcome awkward situations. You have to be personable, very extroverted.
Yeah. And
Even if you're not, you got to go do it.
not everybody is extroverted. I wasn't very extroverted when I went on my mission. And
Okay.
it's, I remember, you get on the plane the first time I'm flying to North Carolina.
Yeah.
And I was very nervous. And I sat next down to the people next to me, and I was like,
You look like
okay, this
Jeff
is my
Keighley
first
a little
attempt
bit.
to, talk to people. And
Toshi, Jeff
my
Keighley.
attempt of kind of like a contact. And I started talking to him, and the guy put his headphones on and turned away from me. And so I was like, okay.
You
this
learn
is-
rejection.
You learn rejection right off
Oh,
the
you
bat.
guys really learn rejection.
Yeah.
Because I had some missionaries, and I apologize, but back in the day, they came to my door, and I just sort of,
Yeah.
guys, I'm not interested in closing on them. So I
it's-
apologize to those guys. But you have to take a lot of that, right? Like
Yeah.
a ton of rejection, which
It's-
is a great skill in life.
Yeah.
Because that's
Jeff
what the world
moment.
is. It's a lot of rejection usually.
Yeah.
And you have to be persistent and deal with it and not take it personally,
Yeah.
right?
This is kind of the south exit. This is where the missionaries will come. They get on buses here and they head to the airport, and this is kind of the exit from the MTC where... Oh, you got a fan over here.
Pia Santanello.
Yeah, but this is where missionaries leave and they take off.
I wonder if William knows who this
And
guy
then
is.
2 years, you're gone.
2 years you're gone, yeah.
You're not coming home
By
for
reputation.
vacation or anything during
Yeah.
that time. 2
You-
years, you're gone.
Your 2 years you're gone, and you email back and forth with your parents, you call on your day off, you do video calls and stuff, but it's...
And the church pays for it all.
So that you actually pay your own way. That's another aspect of it. I mean, it's very very modest, you know, but you pay. But
Mountain
you pay
scenery
your
in
own way
Utah
as
is
a way
great.
to kind of sacrifice yourself and say, hey, I'm doing this for, yeah. So that's another aspect of it. That's kind of.
And so how often are they pushing a new crop out into the world? Is it like, how often?
Every Wednesday, you get a new crop of missionaries in.
Crop.
So you'll see if you're ever up here on a Wednesday, you'll see a bunch of families coming to drop their family off. They pull them in.
I live in Utah now, so all the areas they visited in SLC and Provo, I go to every day. It's a really nice area, and people here are typically really kind. Okay. I mean, of course he wants to live in Mormon capital.
To like the front entrance of the MTC, you get out, you get your suitcases out, you hug, and that's it. That's one of the scariest moments of my life was having the faith to get out of the car there and enter the MTC. And so you get a large contingent of missionaries every Wednesday, and then during the next week you have departure days depending on where you're going in the world.
Oh, it's a massive building.
There's 72,000 missionaries in the world. So.
Oh, in the world.
So that's
at a given time.
At a given time, yeah. And that's gone up.
And they're all going through here?
So there's also missionary training centers in some other countries. There's one in Mexico.
Okay.
And so you don't necessarily have to get called here. But if you're English speaking, it's usually here. But there's one in England. There's one in Brazil, Philippines. They're not as big as this one. This one's kind of like the flagship institution. Wow. And these older buildings out here, this is kind of the dorm.
Okay, so to be in the missionary, you have to live here in the dorms?
Yeah, so you all that's taken care of for you from the church. So you get housing, you're in with a group of missionaries together. They call it a district, which is kind of like your classroom.
Oh shit,
you
district.
get to know these missionaries really well.
So I'm sure you make some good friendships with these guys if you're out in the world for 2 years.
Exactly.
With like the same group of people.
So yeah, we have usually around general conference time, you have mission reunions where people who served in the same mission come back together and they get together with their old friends, and you get a lot of close friends from being a missionary, and it's a shared bonding experience of serving other people. And
what an experience.
Yeah.
I can see the weebs going Japland. They're probably like, bro, can we go to Japan? Japan would hate these guys. Hasn't Japan historically hated Christian missionaries? Rejected missionaries.
If me and podcasts appeal to you, listen to Series 3 of From the Oast House.
So over here across from the MTC, this is all owned by BYU as well.
Weren't there some
Wymount housing
atrocities committed by Christian missionaries?
For a lot of married couples, it's very common for people to get married while they're in their college experience. And so they all live in this, we call it married housing or family housing. This is where they live while they're attending BYU.
So they have kids when they're pretty young, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, it's less frequent nowadays, but you still, every once in a while, have a class and there'll be a girl in there with a baby.
What?
And the professors are wonderful. They never are like,
teenage pregnancies.
Here, it's crying. It's very much designed to...
baby in the classroom.
Yeah, to have
teenage pregnancy.
Okay.
But once again, that's a rare thing. That's not like a commonality, but yeah, here's some people walking back to freshman housings, like right down there from the temple.
Do you have a girlfriend, Brock?
I do not have a girlfriend, no. The stereotype is to get married right off the mission and this and that, and for whatever reason, I haven't found the person that's going to be, but I'm not...
Hey, what's his excuse then? He ain't no half-breed. He's actually very high up in LDS, like a spokesperson representative. What's his excuse? Why didn't they match this guy up? Immediately like a masjid.
Most important decision you can make in your life.
It is, yeah.
I doubt he'd say
very
that.
Seriously. We even believe that marriage carries on. You know, we say it goes on into the eternity, so it's not something that we just want to take lightly, and I'm trying to take it seriously. So.
What are divorce rates like in the church, do you know?
Very low. It's very rare. Because of that dynamic of marriage being kind of like the crowning ordinance in the faith, I don't know what the exact number is, but it is definitely a lot lower than the statistics of the United States, so.
Yeah, it's like a spirit marriage.
Is that what they say here?
One up
vlog?
One up vlog, yeah. The stereotypical guy with the, the camera.
The selfie stick?
Yeah. I don't know, that's a YouTube thing. I don't know if that's
yeah, I guess I'm in it, but I'm out of it at the same time. What's up, guys? Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
Where are you going? Have you gone yet on your mission? You're going to Japan. How pumped up are you? You speak Japanese all right?
Just a tiny bit. We've been here like three
Weebs.
Yeah, 3 weeks out of like 9.
So you guys chose Japan or they chose you for Japan?
They chose us. So
Okay.
you apply having no clue where you're gonna go.
The most you can do is like on the form you can put if you are okay with going foreign, because some people really don't want to go foreign because like they just don't want to go away.
Like
from
if they have
family or whatever.
anxiety or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Brock didn't want to go.
I went North Carolina.
Right, you
so,
can like
yeah.
put like you want to go stateside, or if you're really good at learning a foreign language or anything.
Yeah, and why did he greet as konnichiwa if they picked them to go to Japan and they didn't pick? It's bullshit.
And were you pretty fired up?
I was caught off guard because I'm fluent in Chinese actually, so I was totally. And I put that on my forms too. I was like, I'm going to Taiwan for sure. And I saw Japan, and I was like, well, hyped, but definitely caught me off guard. So
most of us are half Japanese too, so that's like a big thing.
So did you have the language?
I spoke a tiny bit, just at home. But
are you guys all from Salt Lake?
I'm from Michigan.
Michigan?
Arizona.
Arizona?
Utah.
England.
So fresh out of high school, you do your time here and then you're out in the world 2 years.
Basically, yeah. Fresh out of high school, 9 weeks in the MTC, and you have your 2 years. And your 2 years starts, the MTC's included in the 2 years. Yeah, so.
Okay, well good luck out there.
Thank you.
Thanks, elders.
All the
Good
best.
luck, yeah.
Take care.
For you.
And to be a
Explains why you're not married.
Do you have to go on a mission?
You do not.
Yeah,
It's
he just
for,
said
for males it is very
sugar
much
anxiety.
encouraged. It's called a priesthood responsibility. But for
Then why, man?
sisters,
Why can't you
it's,
marry to them?
They can choose to go, and the age for serving as a sister missionary was moved to 19 a couple years ago, and ever since it's like a huge uptick in sister missionaries compared to.
So there are way more male missionaries than sister missionaries.
Yeah,
but that's changing.
It is changing.
I mean, that's upticking.
It is very common. So.
Now, would they send a young woman into the favelas of Sao Paulo, or how do they do that?
So all missions have elders and sisters, but there are certain areas within a mission where some sisters will not be called there just due to instances of the past. So
Wait, did some shit happen?
And sisters, but there are certain areas within a mission where some sisters will not be called there just due to instances of the past. So
right. Do you go to any Muslim countries?
We do not. So there are certain countries where we send missionaries to Russia, but they only allow missionaries to do service. They're not allowed to teach.
But nothing in the Middle East.
Nothing in the Middle East. There are
Probably
older missionaries, like people who have retired. They can serve as missionaries. We call them senior missionaries.
Okay.
And there are senior
the
missionaries.
book used to mean when Christians didn't believe in this 4th century doctrine of the Trinity and Christ being God. It refers to everything prior to that, so it's not necessarily of the book.
In certain Middle Eastern countries, helping run congregations of people.
I don't think they believe in the Trinity. I don't think Mormons believe in Trinity.
Go.
It is, yeah.
Converting Muslims into LDS.
So we have a very good relationship with members of the Islamic faith. Joseph Smith in the original Nauvoo City Charter specifically mentions Muslims and says this is a city where they can come, they can have the religious freedom, and so it's there's a huge kinship between us and Islamic faith. Any Abrahamic faith we have a kinship with.
Okay, so here's my question with proselytizing or converting people to a religion.
Yeah.
Like if a Muslim person came here and talked about Islam, they have 0% chance that they're going to convert you.
Yeah.
Right? So when you go to someone else when they're practicing a religion, it's a tough sell, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Like what's the conversion rate?
So I mean, I don't have any like set numbers of what followers knocked, how many people.
0.
That'd be a tough one to get,
but it is, there is kind of the trade-off there of like
0.
You're asking people to do something that's very difficult to change beliefs, and there are a lot of people who are set in Christian belief systems, a Muslim belief, any religion, but they're not necessarily super active in it.
Okay.
Or they're looking, or they grew up in the church of some other church and they feel like they're missing something, and that's a very common.
The vulnerable people.
And you guys are offering it.
They pray on vulnerable people, like
and they say, hey, we have this thing called the Plan of Salvation, and it, clicks some gears and like, oh, that sounds interesting, or oh, we believe that Christ Church needs to be restored on the earth again. They're like, oh, that's.
You should be preaching to everyone, not picking vulnerable people, easy targets.
Sounds interesting. I'm going to listen. So these little questions
we give dawah to everyone,
might
everyone,
and they can add on to their faith. And
gotcha.
Before ClickUp, we were kind of a mess. We had so many different systems that we were using to communicate and share knowledge.
Does it ever happen where someone on their mission meets a local girl or a local guy, gets married, stays?
So it's very much discouraged because you don't want that, but
okay,
it does happen. If that was found out while you were on the mission, you'd get kicked out of your area.
Yeah, Kaiser.
You know, be dropped out of contact because you don't want that romantic
Just
connection.
kicked out of the church completely?
No, not out of the, like out of, it's like you usually serve in like a certain area of your mission. You'll get moved to a different area.
Oh, okay.
But it happens. But it's got to happen in the right ways, I guess. Not on your mission, you're not doing the date. This is all freshman housing. The church spends a lot of money on this campus, our campus in Hawaii.
You need to ask him directly, did you get kicked out of LDS?
Everywhere where there's a presence of BYU, they spend a lot of money to make sure it's a reputable academic institution. And here's the creamery. Ice cream's a huge part of the culture here, so this is BYU.
Ice cream.
They can make their own ice cream, and it's very popular, obviously, on a Saturday.
Is that because alcohol is out of the equation?
Yeah.
So ice cream's the replacement,
Ice cream
maybe?
is chocolate milk. People make that joke, but there are different kinds of chocolate milk that BYU makes that people have preferences over. And
yeah.
And, this is
so
kind of the
chocolate milk
here.
Connoisseurs here.
Yes, yeah. And
they love ice cream.
If you're ever in Provo, you got to try the cookies and cream chocolate milk.
So a lot of people reached out to me in my audience.
Mm-hmm.
I got all sorts of responses actually when I said I was doing this series.
Yeah.
Many positive. Many have been asking for this for a while actually. Non-Mormons curious about it. But some reach out and say, it's a cult. It's a full-on cult. X, Y, and Z. Don't do it. Don't expose them. What are your thoughts to this? And that's not an easy question. Take it any way you want.
It's a very difficult question because it comes from a place of people have a very large definition of what a cult is. And technically, if you look on like Google and you type in what is a cult, it's like an organization that follows a spiritual leader and everybody like adheres to something. And it's kind of like a very basic thing. And technically, we fit that.
That is a cult, yeah.
We believe in Jesus Christ and we follow him, and everybody strictly follows.
No. They're not talking about
a religious figure.
Do you see how he flipped it? Someone who follows a spiritual figure. He tried to make it. Yeah, exactly. He tried to make it, but we believe in Jesus Christ. Yep. No, it's because of your prophet Joseph Smith all the way down to Russell. That's why. Living prophets.
But then if you were to say that we trap people in the religion, you're not allowed to leave, you're locked in, you see a lot of the very hard abuse scandals you see in other cults and stuff. You don't have that in the church. If you wanted to leave, you can leave. You're going to have pressure, people trying to convince you to stay, but it's not like if you just say, I'm feeling, if I were to tell my bishop or anybody who is a church leader over me, I'm feeling like I'm going to leave the church.
Yeah.
They're not going to arrest me and put me in a cage and say
it'd make your life a living hell.
I don't talk to you anymore. Or any of these scary tactics that you see other religions employ that would be considered cults as well. You don't see that in the church.
So what if, as a member, I'm drinking alcohol and having premarital sex? What happens to me?
So it depends what your motivations are. If you want to stay in the church and you've made promises and covenants in the temple, you're going to be meeting with your local leaders and trying to make restitution and trying to change your habits and coming back to a place where you're keeping your promises again. And if
I can respect
that situation, it's determined that it would be better for you to not be under the condemnation of God, they can revoke your membership for a time and put you under probation. And
membership. So you have like a membership card being in the church.
So you don't have necessarily for a card for being in the church, but you do have a temple recommend, we call it, where when you feel you are ready to participate in temple ordinances, they give you a card from your local leader that says, okay, that we agree that this person is ready to go in and participate in ordinances.
Okay, so say I don't listen to the advice, but I don't do anything proactively, as in I don't try to leave the church. Do I get kicked out somehow, or?
So yeah, you once we call it excommunication. You go into a membership council with your local church leaders, and if they come to that determination that you're not trying to change your ways or find restitution with God, then you'll have your membership revoked. And we believe that's a service to
You probably can't serve
because if you're living
or represent them.
we believe that God is
Can you fix
almighty and he will judge you based on the covenants you've made. And if you're breaking those covenants and you still have your church membership, that's bringing condemnation upon the individual.
Will I be excommunicated, as in nobody in the church can speak with me, or I can't have any relationship with them?
No. So I mean, you can have a spouse.
Okay.
It's not like, I think that's a tactic of maybe Scientology, where you're, or maybe Jehovah's Witnesses, where you're not allowed to talk to them anymore. That's not the case.
Okay.
Sometimes people won't want to talk to people who've left the church and they're bitter because no one feels comfortable talking to somebody who's constantly deriding their beliefs and stuff. But there's no church doctrine.
He's not bringing up the heavenly spouse thing. He's not bringing up the heavenly spouse thing that Willie was bringing up. We asked him all sorts of questions about if you get divorced from someone, your Mormon wife, who's your heavenly spouse, and you remarry, the first love of your life, is she going to be your heavenly spouse? Because you don't believe in polygamy. You clearly don't believe in polygamy. So which one of them is going to be your heavenly spouse and all that shit?
That says, okay, once someone's out, you can't talk to them anymore, and sorry, the family's broken up. That's not what, that's not.
So this is Provo?
Teaching. Yeah, we're here on Center Street and University Avenue, and this is the center of Provo.
So no bars, I'm guessing.
There might be a few bars, but you will never see students at them.
Zion's Bank?
Yeah, Zion's Bank is a huge bank here, but you can see all kinds of different shops, restaurants.
So coffee shops
never
are a thing now. 20 years ago, there'd be no coffee shops.
Yeah.
Because no coffee.
Yeah, people would not be drinking coffee, so you wouldn't see coffee shops, but you see them now for people who moved into Utah, and there's a market now for non-members.
This planet's our only home, but we're not treating it that way. Green
truck, yeah.
So this is a place called Swig. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's very much a Mormon cultural thing, or a Latter-day Saint cultural thing, because it's a place that's kind of a replacement for coffee. People who need their caffeine will come here and drink sodas, but they're fancier sodas with mix-ins and all these different things, and it's very much a part of the culture here.
Okay, just to be clear, if we weren't clear,
poisoning yourself just because you can't have coffee.
Coffee is a no-no, but if the current prophet or the next prophet, whomever,
you're killing yourself with soda.
Coffee's okay.
Yeah, and so I don't see that ever happening, but it is, because that's kind of a huge part of faith in the churches. Sometimes doing things that don't necessarily make sense.
Okay.
And so getting rid of that and just saying, oh yeah, there really isn't evidence that coffee is bad, it would not require as much faith on behalf of the members.
Okay,
I have no idea.
At one time was not allowed, now it's allowed.
They make shit up as they go along.
I don't know if there was ever like a point where, probably in conference talks that
or caffeine, right?
Yeah, so people used to associate, the reason we can't drink coffee is because of
caffeine.
And so obviously lots of sodas have caffeine, so people would drink sodas, just not with caffeine. And BYU, the MTC, they'd have drink machines, but it would all be Coca-Cola with that gold logo with caffeine-free.
Oh, okay, so that's how you can do it.
Yeah.
Let's go, let's check it out.
Now in 2015, BYU now has caffeinated beverages. And I think when BYU did...
In the word of wisdom, the Lord commands Mormons to abstain from harmful substances. Mormons are taught not to drink any kind of alcohol. Okay, sorry, you just posted another one. Hold on. Any kind of alcohol, CD. Mormons are also taught not to drink hot drinks, meaning coffee or any tea other than herbal tea, and not to use tobacco. Okay. Why can't Mormons drink caffeine? Mormon church members' stance on alcohol, tobacco, recreational drugs, and other addictive substances, coffee, beverages, alcohol drinks, caffeinated stimulants, and mind-altering drugs undermine their lifestyle. After all, the focus of their lives is a spiritual journey to know Jesus. I want to say coffee's addictive. It can become addictive, like anything. Sugar is fucking super addictive. It's the fructose, things with fructose corn syrup addictive. Interesting.
Did it, a lot of members said that's okay, and so then we start to see places like this where people come to get their caffeinated beverages in the form of a soft drink, where I don't still see that as healthy, because obviously soda's not healthy and it's bad for your teeth.
I'm not a soda fan, to be honest.
But
we got to check out Swig.
Yeah, so I don't know how this will go, but you can see there you got like normal soda machines, then you have all the different syrups.
Okay, so syrup on your soda.
Yeah, so it's like a mix-in. You can see like this girl here has a drink.
Oh, that's a monster Swig.
Yeah, and they're big.
What do you recommend as a newbie to Swig? What should be my entryway drink?
What kind of soda do you like?
I'm not much of a soda drinker.
Okay. Are you looking for like a
Let's do, how about a Fresca Island Time vibe?
That one is a good one, yeah. It's pretty sweet if that's what you like.
What would be less sweet?
Pink Bahamas, so that's gonna be fresh lemon, strawberry, raspberry, and peach.
Fresh lemon.
Yes.
I'm in. I'm in.
Perfect. What size do you want that?
Nice.
I'll take a small. I just gotta ease into Swig culture.
Swig culture.
Anything else for you guys?
I'll do a Texas tab just small as well. I'll try that. I haven't. But...
You know what you're doing.
Yeah, well, I'll pretend like I'm a local. I know what's going on here. So.
Friday, Saturday nights, date night. This is going to be a popular location.
Yeah, if you're coming.
We have a milkshake place in Kingston that looks like this. It's mainly white people who go there though.
Like 4:30.
Yeah, the drive-throughs.
When me and my mate went there, I was like, what the fuck?
I thought you guys ate well.
Yeah, I mean, the word of wisdom, that's what it's intended for. But then sometimes you get like kind of the opposite in a place like this.
I'm just teasing you, Brock. Okay, I saw a wild hairstyle. That's allowed. But beards for men are not allowed, correct?
Yeah, so if you look at church history in the 70s when BYU was really taken off and they...
Okay.
Jesus had a beard. Jesus had a beard.
Created the rules and the honor code is what we call it. There was a dress and grooming part of that attached to it. And at the time, counterculture was to wear beards. And so church leaders said to set us apart from the world. Let's shave. Mustaches were allowed, so you'll see mustaches on campus.
But could I go in like this?
That's fine.
With
You can have a little scruff, but
if I had a beard, not allowed.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is
him
it's
the
not
question.
Really a priest anymore. It's kind of an on your honor thing.
Okay.
Ask him the question.
Definitely, if you're in here and you come
Jesus
in
was
with a beard,
bearded.
it's gonna stand out. But they won't even know that they'll think I'm not Mormon, right?
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Mustaches allowed.
Yeah, that's very
wow.
Very good, but it's obviously not probably very healthy.
It's got a lot of punch. This is a serious operation.
Yeah.
Museum of Mormon History. That'd be interesting.
I've been it's not church owned. It's just a guy who has a bunch of documents about church history. So it's not anything like it's not as fancy as like the church.
Okay.
It's not like antagonistic or anything. It's just it's not really like anything.
It's actually not bad.
It's good.
It's pretty good.
Diabolo. Game Awards, guys, soon. Inshallah, Alan Wake 2 wins.
Play Diablo 4.
Grammarly now uses AI to help
Whamily.
you write, not just revise.
Whamily.
Type a prompt and...
Okay, so garments. What were you saying about clothing? You can tell when someone is LDS because
they'll be wearing what we call temple garments. So most religions have outward appearances of religious clothing that they'll wear over their clothes. But for Latter-day Saints, we wear, once we've gone through the temple, we wear temple garments under our clothes. And it's a very sacred aspect of our belief. And because of the way this clothing is designed, if you're wearing like a very sheer white shirt, like for men, for business attire, you can see kind of the scoop neck of the garments.
So you're wearing temple garments right now?
I am right now, yeah. So,
what are they, white or?
Yeah, so they're white. It's an inward commitment of our commitment to follow Jesus Christ, and it's kind of a constant reminder of our promises we've made in the temple.
So just a shirt?
Temple garments, yeah, white shirts.
Yeah, it's very similar to style of an undershirt you see men wearing, and then just boxers that you see. Yeah.
And so every day of your life you're wearing temple garments?
Yeah. The only time I take it off is for if I'm doing, like if I'm
He's
going
posted
for
a
run,
picture once,
I'd probably
didn't he,
wear,
in white shirt?
I take them off because I wouldn't want to get them gross or sweaty. And
Probably under the hoodie.
Sleeping, I keep them on.
Yeah, I
Some people
can't see
choose
it.
to take them off. So it's kind of up to the person to. We were just, we promised to wear them, and it's kind of up to the individual.
Okay,
how
so
much that means.
Are most people wearing them, do you think, in the church?
Yeah, if you've gone through the temple and you're an adult member of the church who's active, most likely they're wearing.
He's wearing those those cream khaki pants.
All those missionaries or future missionaries we saw, they're wearing temple garments.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I mean, we believe there's not necessarily like physical protection, like it's not like it's a bulletproof vest or anything, but we do believe that wearing it, we will be protected against the power of the adversary. It's a reminder to
just say
keep
Satan.
our promises with God and to keep the name of Jesus Christ with us at all times.
Okay, so only super conservative Mormons are wearing very traditional clothes, correct? On the outside.
Yes, yeah, that's fundamentalist groups. I'm not sure necessarily what they're grasping onto to wear like those prairie dresses you see.
So only fundamentalist groups, which is under 1% of everyone.
Yeah.
In the combined two groups. Okay, so that's how you can tell if someone's Mormon, is if you can see like you were saying Mitt Romney, you could see sometimes as undergarments.
That was a issue on the campaign trail where he'd be campaigning in just a white shirt, and if it was hot enough, he'd be wearing a very sheer white shirt. You could see the they call it the Mormon smile, which is kind of like a pedestrian way of saying like, okay, that's someone who's fully gone through the temple.
And it's a special thing. You wouldn't be able to see them like. I wouldn't be able to see them on Amazon or anything.
Yeah, the church is the one that produces them.
They produce and sell, and you probably want a bunch of them, right? Because you're wearing them all the time. You're
It's an undershirt, apparently.
And they are sold at cost of how much they cost to make them. So it's not like there are these expensive things. Like you see a lot of underwear nowadays, it's $30-40 for just a pair of really nice.
Right.
It's $4 or $5 for a pair. It's not.
Ask Willie if he wears the undergarments.
Yeah, and people who do not have the funds to purchase them, they can talk to the leader of their local congregation, and he can help fund the purchase of anything they need for.
Which is called a ward, right? It's an
yes,
award.
a ward. Yeah, that's a geographical area where members of the church live, and the leader of that is called the bishop.
Just looked out.
1892.
Nothing special.
Yeah, it's
okay.
1 year before the Salt Lake Temple was completed, so it's really kind of has the same era. Brigham Young sent pioneers all over Utah.
Oh, South Asians,
as far south as St. George, even down to just outside of Las Vegas to settle places. And you'll find a downtown kind of like this one where you see these wide streets. You see beautiful pioneer houses like this with the stained glass. The best the pioneers could come up with.
What about your story? How many generations back?
I go back to the original pioneers as well. My great-great-great-grandfather, one of them settled here in Provo. In a house similar to this, it's actually been turned into student apartments, so it's not as grand as this house here. But yeah, the roots go deep. Early converts from Europe were originally the church would send missionaries to Europe. They'd find people. They'd take a ship over to
these, Indians wear these.
They'd get on with the ox carts or the hand carts.
I've seen bare Indians wear these.
Kind of famous Mormon history, and they
Pakistani
all the way across the continent and settled here and came to Zion.
With the longer.
Look at this old crows.
Yeah.
And the pioneers planted
So
a
you
lot
don't
of
sweat
these
around the
trees
neck.
because this was a desert.
We really want to shout about the Black Friday deals at Curry's.
Not special.
To save your eardrums, we'll just tell you about.
They say it provides protection against Satan. Apparently, white t-shirt.
You see a lot of these buildings, and they don't look as grand as some of these Catholic cathedrals you go to. But if you understand that the pioneers, when they came here, there was absolutely nothing. If they wanted to build the Salt Lake Temple, they had to go up into the mountains and quarry this granite. They didn't have a lot of trees, so they'd had to go up into the woods. So everything that you see that's pioneer architecture is the sacrifice of thousands of hours to build these
I thought he meant white shirts, like button shirts.
So that's why I
Collars.
love going into some of these
I
old
think he meant
buildings,
like
because
t-shirts.
it shows the dedication of my ancestors and how much they gave up to settle a place so I could grow up in a beautiful place just like this.
Yeah, look at this old trike. It's really beautiful and feels like you're not in a desert at all.
Yeah.
So what are non-Mormons not understanding about you guys? Like, what do we not get, let's say?
I think it's just for a long time, there hasn't been a lot of light shined on the church. And so when you hear these different things like we don't drink coffee or we build temples again, like people did in the Bible, we send missionaries out, you hear all these ideas and it makes us sound so peculiar.
In polygamy, people think you're
polygamy.
polygamous.
Any of this, Wild West history, at the end of the day, we're just Americans trying to make the world a better place. And I fundamentally believe that members of the church who are also citizens of the United States have that special connection to the country, and through their promises they've made in the temple, they try to make beautiful places like we're seeing here. And we're just like other Americans, even if we don't drink the same things as them, I guess.
Do you feel ostracized at all by the country or by the non-Mormons, or no?
It depends on who you're talking to. If you're talking to people who are very versed in our theology and don't agree with it, you do feel a little bit uncomfortable because they're going to attack you for your beliefs. But for the most part, I feel like if most Americans could just understand that we're just people as well trying to make the world a better place, there'd be a lot more connection, and we're similar to other Christians in the country.
Do you feel like everyone needs a higher power to follow of some sort?
I mean, I can't speak for anybody, but I think, at least in my life, I can't see where I'd be if I didn't have that connection to the divine. So much of my life decisions, where to go to school, if I should serve a mission, who I should date, who I should marry, all that is coming from a direct connection to God and that revelation that comes. And so if I didn't have that in my life, I don't
come
know
from the
what
church, sure.
would look like.
Do you pray?
I don't know if it's coming from the divine.
Yeah.
How many times?
I mean, it's not necessarily, the church encourages morning prayers and nightly prayers.
Okay.
For me, I'm kind of less regimented. I kind of have a dialogue with God in my head as I'm going through the day. So that's not obviously me sitting down on my knees, folding my arms, bowing my head and praying, but at least for me, I feel that it's nice to have a kind of a dialogue with a higher power in my head as I'm going through the day.
So when the government speaks to you, do you look at that as just a message you can be, you
what
can
about Jesus Christ, though?
want, because you have your message coming from a higher power, and that's the number one. This government thing over here is like...
Yeah.
Or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah,
that's a hard one because there's been times when the church has had teachings, like polygamy, for example. There was a time when the United States government was directly pressuring us to abandon one of our teachings.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, Christ teaches that we should render unto Caesar,
what belongs to Caesar.
Yeah, so we should
Lord.
listen to the government. But and I don't think there's ever been a time in my life where it's like the church is telling me something to do that's going to break the law or anything like that. I'm a very proud United States citizen, but at the same time, the president of the United States, I'm not taking his word as strongly as I am who I believe to be a prophet, seer, and revelator.
Oh shit!
Even just as the United States citizen, I don't think
he's not a patriot, guys.
You're going to be listening to the president for advice necessarily.
He's not a patriot.
Oh, you should be, getting an education this way or doing that. It's more of just kind of an administrative thing and someone who will implement policy, not necessarily like someone I look to as a, I guess he's like a figurehead.
As a spiritual leader.
Yeah,
as
a.
I mean, he's right about that. They're figureheads.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
That'd be a bad idea.
This is the Christus statue. The original Europe, we've kind of made this our church's symbol of, we believe we are the Church of Jesus Christ. And
Shave his beard.
Is on the right outside of our temple here.
And this is one of your favorites.
Yes, yeah, this is one of my favorites to go to just because it has kind of a mix of the pioneer aspect.
Tell me, guys, why does their Jesus look like Zeus from mythology? Why they make Jesus look like Zeus, fam?
It used to be an old pioneer meeting place.
Well, Brock,
nobody knows what he looked
like. I've never had a conversation with a Mormon for this long.
Yeah.
And maybe I have. I just didn't know the person was Mormon.
That's true, yeah.
This is why we don't draw pictures. Why Muslims don't draw pictures of even our most beloved prophets or any prophet or God. Because we say we don't know what they look like. We don't know what they look like.
Say there's like a little bit of this line or barrier. Not really, because I go in all different cultures, but a little bit. Like, Is he going to look down on me a bit for not being Mormon? You know, whenever you get into a religious group, you know, I, as a non-religious person, you know, I'm always curious about that.
Yeah.
And some who are very devout, to maybe an extreme level, will always think anything other than them is less than. And then there are people like you today who's very devout and strong in your beliefs.
Yeah,
I felt it was great hanging out with you. And
well, I appreciate you coming out.
It was beautiful seeing it through your eyes and learning through you. I learned a lot today. I know the audience did too. And without people like you, it's not easy to get in. At least it hasn't been with a Mormon willing to give this tour, an LDS member, willing to give this tour, because I understand when cameras come out, I can twist this in any way I want.
Yeah.
And the power of the edit can do whatever you want. And we can put it all under the bus. And that's not my intention. So thank you for giving the trust.
Yeah.
And for bringing us into your world. It's been super interesting.
Well, I appreciate you coming out here and willing to let my experience shine through in this video.
He's a PR guy, though.
Good stuff, Rock.
Yeah.
All right. All right, guys.
He didn't go into the actual fundamental doctrines of them. This is about, we're normal, we're just like you, we're just like Christians, we're just like Americans. Williams educated me. William educated me more in 6-7 paragraphs than this guy ever did. I think I know more from William about Mormonism, like the unadulterated truth, than I did from this guy. 26 minutes. Alright, let's take a look at this. I've all got the message histories from him, so I've got the message history, so I can always go back and see what he said. When he becomes president, I can pull up all his old DMs, fam. Acidic. That's if X's still around. True. They've got that website that archives everything. Baby,
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahmed Ali from MATW. We're live, alhamdulillah, on the ground in Cairo, where we've partnered.
I just want to remind everyone, we are in the USA. What a mix, what a place. Are you hitting on me?
A sign, Aladdin.
This is halal. Oh yeah? Yeah. Is Mountain Dew halal? On the way to a cricket match.
Oh shit. Only Muslim majority city, Hamtramck.
What beard do you have? Nice and red.
I want a man. Can I use you? How old are you?
Southeast Asian feel. You guys drive like crazy. That's your brother? Pakistan Zindabad.
Pakistan Zindabad.
Now they're inviting me to eat. Will you win the election? A yes or no?
You want to see a movie star?
Hamtramck Disneyland. It's one of those facts that doesn't get communicated outside of the Muslim world. You have to experience it for yourself. Good afternoon, guys. Here in beautiful downtown Detroit. Today's video is about a city within Detroit, 2.1 square miles. It is the largest and only Muslim majority city in America.
Really? Would they dump us all in Detroit?
I checked it out the other day.
Dumped us all in Detroit.
Very interesting place. Today we're gonna dive in. I have no context set up.
They
Don't know what we're running into,
nice.
Which sometimes makes the most interesting videos. Let's do this.
EY fam. Got Ernst & Young over there. Downtown Detroit, okay. Oh, okay. You going to another city. Oh, wow. They dumped us here. They dumped all the Muslims here. They don't care about us brown people, Kaiser. Hamtramck, Michigan. They got church there, interesting. Where's the money?
All right, guys, so we're here in Hamtramck. And I found on the map Hamtramck Disneyland. You guys are saying, where is it?
Straight down this alley. We right here on the corner. It's like 10 houses away from us.
Out here, I heard it's mostly Muslims, right?
Yeah, it's a majority. Yeah. You got your Bosnians, you got your Polacks, you know what I'm saying?
You got everyone.
These are the working class, man. These are real people.
You make that first left into that side alley that takes you back that way.
Okay.
You can't miss it.
God bless. Thanks, guys. You too. All right, guys. So I saw on the Google Maps there's a Hamtramck Disneyland. Which, who knows what that is, but sounds interesting. Okay, the guy said go in the back alleyway here and walk down until you see the colored buildings. I guess this is it.
Hamtramck Disneyland.
28,000 people. 1970. It was. Oh, this is cool. Look at this. 1970. 90% Poles. Fast forward to today, I believe it's 90% Muslim, less than 10% Poles. Here you go, Ukrainian guy here. His creative mind at work.
Bless him.
Backyard here in Hamtramck.
Bless him, man.
Nobody seems to be here, unfortunately, but you gotta love this stuff.
Bless him.
Guys, that neighborhood is quite quiet. Now I'm downtown. Oh, I'm talking to the camera. This is downtown Hamtramck, right?
Yeah.
Where's the action at?
I don't know.
It might be like Saudi Arabia, I might say. When I was in Saudi, I'd go out midday to shoot videos and nobody would be out. And then nighttime came, totally different reality. Polish store across the street.
Brown people be night owls, man. What can I say?
Eastern European shops. What's going on? You gotta go over here?
Yeah, I don't want to mess something up.
Oh, that's all right. Are you ethnically Polish?
Yeah.
So what's going on out here? It's like 10% Polish, mostly Muslim?
Mostly Muslim.
Okay.
The Polish is on the way. This wasn't Polish, European.
Eastern European.
Yeah, a lot of people. I've been here all my life. I'm 85. I've lived in the same house.
How is it?
Well, I still love it.
It's a cool community?
Yeah, because I get along with everybody, and I don't care what nationality you are.
Sure.
And the neighbors are all nice. I have no problem. They're really nice. They take care. The Arabs are coming in. They're redoing the homes.
Nice.
Beautifully. And that's what I like. They got the money to do it.
They're bringing up the community?
Rejuvenate.
I think so.
That's great.
I think so. And I have
Listen to her, not Fox News.
You seem like that type of lady.
Oh, yeah. I'm not Ukrainian. What are you? What's about here? Macedonian.
Skopje.
She's been here. I've known her for about 40 years.
You don't run around like you used to?
No.
What'd you used to do? You were wild back in the day?
Bless these people, man.
That's me. I lived a life. And I got an eye for men. Now I'm trying to.
Are you hitting on me? We're gonna go
No,
for
I'm
a
not
date?
here. I wouldn't. I'm single. But I'm trying to picture you with hair. 40 years.
These are real people, guys.
With Klarna,
Bless her, man. God bless her.
interest-free for all your gaming accessories.
I just got the perfect gift for my boyfriend.
Fuck off.
Everything that he needs for 25% off at
50 years.
50
Talk
years.
about the neighborhood. How is it? Your friend out here seems to love it. How about yourself?
Yeah, we still love it. It's nothing wrong. Quiet. We're still here.
Hey, you want to see a
It's
movie
not
star?
Like 40 years ago.
Look at that picture. The blonde, that's her.
This one.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was me. Speaking about hair, no hair now.
That's when I first
Look
met
at
her.
wow. Do you feel threatened? I mean, quite often when another group comes in,
Why are they
feel
asking these questions?
At my age,
They help.
they help me. They come out, help me with groceries. They do everything to help me.
So they
Listen to her, not Fox News.
Yes, and they were very respectful. And not only that, they are so handsome.
The men.
The men are handsome. Yeah, they're beautiful people.
They got beautiful hair. When they take those scarves, you should see how beautiful
Oh,
they are.
the women's
But
hair,
when
we
they
wouldn't
go
know.
outside, you just see that.
But Here's
Do the Muslim women come in here who are full headscarf?
Really little,
Okay.
because if they want to come, they want you to shut the business and they shut the curtains.
Okay.
Because if somebody walks, now the sign is open, somebody walks, she's in a chair, she goes in a bathroom because men cannot see her. That's a no-no.
Now this is my objection.
Yeah, that's a no-no.
You don't like that one. Culturally, that's a big,
But that's
big difference.
his culture.
That's their
what
thing,
we're
huh?
gonna do.
You know what I really want?
What?
I want a man that would go to the movies with me. Just to be
Like a
a
best friend,
companionship.
best friend
a
type
best
friend.
friend.
What happened, man, to this generation,
I
man?
think you can find them.
This is what I was talking about last stream.
Why
You
not?
what can I use you? How old are you?
I'm 44.
He's too young.
Am I too old for you?
My
I'm too old for
sons
you?
are 60.
Hey, if I was staying here longer, I'd take you out to the movies. But I have to leave tonight. I have to leave tonight. Thank
yeah,
you,
the
ladies.
name of the place is Myra.
But that's the first time you came in Detroit? First time?
Yeah, first trip here.
That's nice.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's cool.
weren't you in that movie?
The Polish
With Redding. She was in that
Oh,
movie.
wow.
Yeah,
Oh, I
now
think
we
she's
got
such a
old.
beautiful
What are we gonna do? Old, we got not good.
You're not that old.
Not that
You're
old.
alive. You're doing well. You
Man,
got
bless
the
these
smile,
people,
you
man.
got the
God
glow, you
bless
got
these
the
people.
energy.
Okay, I'm going right
All right,
there.
I'm gonna open your door for you.
I just got this car out. I was gonna junk it. He says it's such a good condition, I'm keeping it.
There you go.
Yep. Okay, thank you. Nice talking
Thanks,
to you.
Teresa. God bless.
Hamtrak.
What's going on, Habibi?
Habibi.
Habibi, look at his hair. Could you cut his hair, do you think? Why don't you get your hair cut by her?
I got my haircut somewhere else.
You're ready for another one, man. You guys drive like crazy, don't you?
That's his
brother.
Brown peeps are all boy racers.
He's gonna slow
Hate that.
down, man. That's how I was, though. How old is he? 16. Oh, when I was 16, it was all gas. Hello, sir. Hi. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you. Downtown Detroit's really come back to life. I never went there before, but from what everyone knows, it was pretty down and out. Downtown is quite alive. And then this is like another, we're completely surrounded by Detroit, but it doesn't feel anything like Detroit. It feels totally different.
Yeah.
Like a little island in here. Excuse me, sir. Is there a good restaurant up here?
Yes, you go straight and left.
Straight and left.
Yes.
What kind of food?
Bengali food.
Bengali. Okay, guys, so more of a Bengali community down here.
Yeah, you can tell
And I
he's
want
very
to make
well
it
traveled.
very clear that Bangladesh is a massive Muslim population. So when we think of Muslims, it's everything from Saudi Arabia to Iran to the Balkans, Bosnia, Albania. Both countries have large Muslim populations. The Arab Peninsula, as we all know, Iraq. So you're covering a wide swath. You can't put an easy label on like Muslim in region or nationality because it's so mixed up. I mean, when you're speaking of Indonesia alone, roughly 16,000 islands.
Big up Indonesia.
1,000 inhabited.
My nigga Adi saved my life.
Mostly Muslim. It's really stretching throughout the whole world. How you doing, sir? Hello, sir. Salam. Where's the good Bengali food? Bengali food.
Bengali food, fish and rice.
Fish and rice.
Yeah.
Straight. Okay, thank you. Hello. Okay, we can see more of an Indian, Bengali
This is like
here.
parts of my town, some parts of my town, streets, not like the whole
Hindu
town.
culture, but there's a massive Muslim population there also. Okay, guys. Hello, salam, sir. And I'm getting that Southeast Asian feel that I do miss.
A sign, Aladdin. This sign is Aladdin.
You Bengali?
Yes.
They go on Aladdin's.
Thank you.
I was there many years ago. Dhaka.
Oh, you go in Dhaka?
I loved it. Air Beeman. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
you found it. It's good food over here.
The Bengali Enterprise. But that's not the Bengali food. I guess it's here.
Hardly any Bengali Chicago, so don't have their shops. Aladdin. It's a good name to use because everyone knows it.
It's Indian food or Bengali food?
It's Indian.
Muslim though, right?
Yeah, that's all of halal.
All halal. I'm sure on the weekends this place comes alive. The music, the dancing, the chandelier. The New York Bengalis are coming here.
Definitely.
Why?
Especially this year, there's been a lot of people coming here. You know how it is, you know, you've been to New York, you know how the rent and everything is.
Okay, it's cheaper here.
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper here. You work for some sort of money, you know.
Yeah.
You're not just putting it towards rent. You have some to save up here, you know.
Gotcha. So you can buy this. What do we have here? Some lentil
This is
dish.
lentil with, I think, chana dal. That's what we call it. This is just beef curry, straight up.
Beef curry?
Yeah.
Nice. Beef curry.
Yep. Yeah.
And this is halal.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is halal. Yeah.
Is Mountain Dew halal?
That I can't answer. I'm not sure on that one.
When I was your age, I drank Mountain Dew, and then my teeth started hurting, and I stopped.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
What was it?
My gums were hurting. I have no idea. It's more of a joke, though. Actually, it wasn't like.
Shit, I was gonna say you might want to go check out the dentist, man. Right there.
Oh, that's a lot of rice. Your parents are Bengali.
Yeah, they're Bengali. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it hard being first generation where you're between two worlds? Maybe your parents are like teaching all Bengali values and then you're in the US?
Honestly, I think that's pretty dope, you know. I get to know both worlds. Wherever I want to go, for example, if I don't like it, I go back Bangladesh. I know that too, you know. So it's just really cool for me. You know,
so you get to see two different cultures in a way.
Oh yeah, you know, and
like inside
vegan Indian Friday night. Yeah, probably Hindu store then. That means
to people
Hindus offer a lot of vegan
in the
alternatives.
Muslim world.
Yeah.
You just show up and people invite you in. So I sort of came up on the table, and now they're inviting me to eat some of their food.
Oh, nice.
And that's what I love about.
We all brothers, man. End of the day, you feel me? There you go, man. You can come inside. I'm here.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
What are your names?
What you want? My name is Hussein.
Hussein?
Yeah. That's Imtiaz.
Milk is in every sweet.
Peter.
Peter, nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, that's true.
Peter Griffin. Yeah, I get called that a lot. Thank you. Nice compliment.
But we have a place called Darkers.
Suleiman.
That specifically in our town offers like, well, not vegan, but not vegetarian is what I mean.
Yeah, we can't use.
But they don't do sweet stuff.
You can use the hands. I don't care.
Oh shit.
What do you do normally when there's no camera? Use hands or fork?
Well, not outside. I was the first bite. Good.
Nice.
You like it?
Nice.
Like the spice?
Really nice spice in there.
Love it.
Beautiful. Bengalis know how to do food.
Oh yeah.
My first time there was 2005.
We're in Bangladesh.
Landed in Dhaka, and it was like monsoon season.
Oh, okay.
And it was wild then.
How long did you stay there?
It was wild, just a few days. You pray 5 times a day.
Yes.
Definitely. Religiously, honestly, every day you do it.
Yeah. If we miss it, we try to make it back up.
Yeah.
Feel out of it. Do you get something out of it?
I give you my personal preference. Once you pray, you feel like you've done something good, and it makes your rest of the day goes peacefully. And when I don't pray, the day I can't make it, and I gotta rush to work or something.
Does it kill tension? Does it like bring down anxiety?
Definitely does. It definitely does.
Yeah. I like that about Islam. Salat, alms, Ramadan. Ramadan teaches discipline, right?
Oh yeah.
That's a Joe Rogan view of Islam.
It's that much better, right?
Mm-hmm. Is this fish?
Yeah.
Okay. Can't really tell.
Some sort of.
Not everything can be prepared like super
spice.
Visually, but the taste and the texture is always on point. Everyone has a different way of preparing shit.
Please.
No, next time. Next time, I got it.
Thank you guys.
Come here, let us know we got.
This fish curry, I give to you. Yes.
No.
Awesome.
You are a guest. You are my guest.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Done, man.
All right, guys.
What a don this guy is.
Just like you get in the Muslim world, people sharing their food and then paying.
Yeah, that's big. That's big.
Young 20-somethings refused for me to pay. I told them I was going to buy them the lunch because they're so cool to be on camera. They said no, they would not let me play.
I mean, visually, it's not like what other videos you show me.
Gave me the drink.
Things I've seen.
One of those facts that doesn't get communicated outside of the Muslim world. You have to experience it for yourself. But so often when traveling through Muslim countries, people do that. They bring you in. I think it's from the sort of the caravan mentality of travelers and people stopping and sharing. And now we're getting it here in Hamtramck. Sobieski.
Brown people
Very Polish name.
just love racing.
And the story of Hamtramck seems to be
minor cars.
The ethnicity and the identity changing, and that is so true in so many American cities. For example, in the Bronx, you know, part of it was a big Italian town. That's somewhat gone away to the Albanians and other ethnicities. This is a Polish shop. Yeah. Polski.
My name is Vladimir.
Vladimir. Look how multicultural it is, even from Muslim town. Even from Muslim town, look how multicultural it is. Look how comfortable these old-timers feel. Look how comfortable in their skin these old-timers feel. Macedonian, Polish.
Ever wonder why so many people say they want to learn guitar, but very few actually learn to play? It's simple.
Looks like straight out of Ukraine.
This is why Jews flourished than the Muslims.
They're heavy on the tea, heavy on the chocolates. So it's really a fascinating mix, guys. So you have that Bengali world right around the block. Then you have this Eastern European world. So for those Americans wanting to go abroad, but they can't travel, don't have the time, don't have the money to go far, come to Detroit. Detroit's got a little bit of everything. And this is obviously
multiculturalism.
Detroit, its own city, Hamtramck. But the whole metro area here has a lot of cultural fusion going on. Catch up on your Polish gossip, the treats, the sladki. Got some confetti, some little chocolates, very popular in Eastern Europe. Literally right across the street from Bozek's, we have this Middle Eastern food place. Hello. Thank you, sir. Lots of fruits, vegetables.
Nice.
Look at the difference of the two.
We need Ryan to go to shops like these, Kaiser. Get some good food in, not macaroni and cheese.
And so you can see the influence in the cultures through the shops.
In Hamtramck, this is the main Arabic store for Yemenis and Bengali people, where
Where are you from?
I'm from Syria.
Syria.
Homs. I've been here for 4 years.
I was in Homs.
Really?
2008.
It's nice.
And out to Palmyra.
Oh wow.
From there. Loved it,
nice.
man. It was amazing. When I was there, it was very peaceful. People were amazing.
But
why people scared to step in?
Are the people still the same?
People changed.
People changed because of the war.
Because of the war, yeah.
Would they became less open?
They are open. Syrian people are open.
They're still open.
Yeah, they're still open. But it becomes like if you are, for example, with the government that killed people will won't like you. They won't talk to you just for if you support the regime of Assad. Yes.
So you have a big division in Syria right now.
Yeah.
What do you think about in the U.S.? Do we have a divide?
US is the best country ever. It's diverse. You have freedom. You have a lot of opportunities. You can start from zero and be on the top.
Did you start from zero?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I came here as a refugee, actually.
As a refugee?
Yeah.
Refugee.
Nice to see you.
That's just a little teaser of what it looks like in the Arab market versus the
only USS freedom.
Across the streets from each other. Both people
it's like they instilled in them from early age.
Markets. So the food is crossing over. 42%, I believe, 42 or 45, are foreign born here in Hamtramck. So a lot of Muslims here, but also a lot of Muslims in Dearborn, Michigan. Actually, many more. I made videos about Dearborn. Totally different feel, totally different look. All right, we
cricket.
found ourselves on the way to a cricket match. And your name?
Pishal.
Pishal has got the best hit in the group. So we
first.
Right? I played cricket in the back alleyways of Peshawar, Pakistan, with the Pashtun people. You know the Pashtuns?
Who is this guy?
No, Pashtuns
Lawrence of Arabia.
Afghani in Pakistan. They're a type of people, and
he's able to educate the youth about their own cultures.
This guy, Amer.
He's running. He's the mayor. He's running for the mayor.
You think he's gonna win?
Yeah, he's inside. You can ask him if you...
Amar, let's ask him.
Oh shit. Dude, what kind of...
Amar, will you win the election? A yes or no? Will you win the election?
Yeah, I will. Yeah,
That's all I needed to hear.
Why is this so empty?
With your help, of course.
Your signs are everywhere. I don't know your policies at all. I'm not endorsing Amar, but he's run the best marketing campaign I've seen out here. So good luck.
Thank you.
All right.
And congratulations for you.
Keep Hamtramck safe.
Sure. Thank you.
Inshallah. Hello, sir. How are you? Good. Beautiful beard you have.
Thank you.
Nice and red. I can't do that. Can you? No, not yet. One day. What a mix. What a place. And then like
see, no animosity here, man. Nice.
40 people.
There's feeling community here, man.
40 different languages here in 2.1 square miles. And guys, I want to just point out, you have like what's going on in so much of Detroit. These old beautiful buildings. It looks like it's being redone. Looks like some new windows going in.
In the 90s, people left the city. Now people are coming.
In the 90s, the people left Hamtramck. Now they're coming back.
Yep.
Gotcha. How you doing, man? Nice hair.
Community here.
We make it as a stamp.
A stamp?
Yeah.
It sticks when you hit the ball in the sticks, like in the behind the cricketer.
The pitcher needs to get it in there.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. You improvise.
Man, this is a community, man.
Beautiful building.
Make your own fun.
I hope they bring that back.
Sitting at home playing video games.
Bookstore. Beautiful. Gotta love that about the whole Detroit area. You guys play cricket? The Yemenis don't play cricket, do they?
Volleyball and soccer.
Volleyball.
So you guys don't play sports together?
Yeah, not really.
Al Islah Islamic Center. What goes on there? Okay. Do you guys pray there?
Yeah.
Every day?
Yeah, every day.
Are you telling the truth? The whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Not every day. Not every day.
But a lot.
Yeah.
But a lot. Okay.
It's my house.
Oh, you live over here? Yeah. Are those your brothers?
Yeah. My brothers and my cousin.
Con Enterprise.
Okay. You just look for the clearest parking lot, huh? Okay.
Make their own fun, man.
Like this, growing up as an Italian,
it's the Italians.
Football in the streets. This was back in the day in New York, and you guys are sort of carrying it on with cricket.
South Asian, Yemenis wouldn't get along. Yemenis are tribal.
You guys okay with that? Yeah. All right.
Dude, they got dwarf midget.
This is the place.
They got dwarf midget over there.
You guys are all okay with the video, right? Yeah. Okay.
Bengali, is he Bengali midget?
Who wants to hold the camera? All right.
Hey.
This reminds me of me young. This reminds me of me young.
How's my swing? Am I doing
it's not like this no more. As we got older, we got posh Jap stores opening everywhere. My town got rejuvenated. This is what community was, guys. Italians know. Outdoors in the park, you know what I mean? Everyone knew everyone. God, I miss this, man.
I just want to remind everyone, we are in the USA, and it feels like a traveling experience today.
Yeah.
Like I'm in another country to some degree. I played in Pakistan. Pakistan Zindabad. Yeah. I love this stuff.
Simpler times, man. Miss these
Sort
days.
of like my childhood, actually. You know that? This sort of stuff. A bunch of guys getting together, hanging out in a parking lot. I didn't play cricket, but it was a skateboard or something else.
The Bengalis.
I'm okay. I'm good.
I mean, we should be united.
I'm good. All right, guys, that is Hamtramck. Thank you guys for letting me in on the game.
No problem.
And for all of you,
There's Zessa on the left. That looks like Zessa on the left.
Not the whole thing, but the preview looked very good. The teaser. I'll leave that link below. And I want to also mention, come to this part of the country, Greater Detroit, Hamtramck, if you want to experience a very cultural, open, fun, dynamic experience here in the United States.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great documentaries, this guy.
Until the next one.
He asks the right questions. What I like about him is he asks the right questions, but he's not judgmental. But when my impression, before I'd even watched this guy's stuff, my impression of him is he'd be very right-leaning, and his questions would be tinged with the kind of right talking points. But he's actually like one of the most neutral people I've seen, like do cover culture and areas, like just brutal honesty. He just shows people for who they are, just a community of people trying to live together. Great documentary. Alright, I'm gonna call it there. Would have gone long, but it's a Sunday night, so Mexican border, yeah. Even his Mexican border video was so, he didn't interject his politics or biases. He just let people talk and explain the situation. Here he let the community speak for itself. He let the Mormon guy speak for himself. Respect. Other documentaries, even left-wing documentaries, they get so into the weeds, like trying to frame a narrative. You know? But my man actually boots on the ground, goes there. You know what I mean? Love it. Hasidic Jewish communities, bloody hell. This guy gets around, guys. That gets around. I'm gonna give him a sub. I don't think I'm sub to him, so give him a sub. Sunday night, man. 2:30 a.m. over here. Gonna watch his Pakistan vlogs. Gotta watch his Pakistan vlogs, yeah. Maybe we can check that out next time. Check that greatness out next time. Interesting. That Mormon one was interesting, but I actually learned more from William than I ever did. That guy. Content, yeah. Greatness. This is gonna go up on YouTube like usual. My channel's already pivoted. All my reactions to documentaries, stuff like that, goes on my Mackenzie Critiques channel. Not some separate shit. So I've already done the pivot now. Only a matter of time before Top Gear stuff ends up there. That's probably only part 1 of Mormon. He's in the multiple Amish ones. Yeah, I don't know about the Amish. And even I have absolutely zero clue about the Amish. Might check them out. Might watch one of those as well next time. Jew ones. Those I'm very interested in seeing. American Jews. What do American Jews think? I've seen plenty of Israel Jew ones. Multiple Muslim ones. Nice. I'm trying to think, what part of the world do I really want to know about? See if this guy's done a documentary. What part of the world do I just off the top of my head really want to know about? I want to know about Mexico or something. South America, Mexico. Maybe he's got one of that or something. Yeah, I'll browse it later. Browse it my own time. But Kaiser's the one that brings to attention interesting ones for me, like topical ones. So we'll see. Interested. He done Mexico. Nice. Mexico, I want to find out about. Everyone keeps saying it's a failed state, cartel, this, that, and the other. I want him to see what he asked the people who live there. I mean, they get bad rep. Mexicans get bad rep in America, fam. Interesting, yeah. William needs to do a better job of converting people, because William did find me and he knew I was Muslim when I was reacting to LTGH. So that's his example of, yes, the Mormons and the Islamic faith community have great relations. That's his claim to fame, fam. Alright guys, thank you, Vector, Kaiser, Toshi. Only you guys showed up with 2 people lurking. But yeah, thank you guys for sticking around, man. Take care, man. PC.
I'm so fresh, you can suck my nuts. I'm so fresh, you can suck my nuts. Swag. I'm so fresh, you can suck my nuts. 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 Swag. I'm so fresh, you can suck my nuts. 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 Swag. I'm so fresh, you can suck my nuts. 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 Swag. I'm so fresh, you can suck my nuts. 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 Swag. I'm so fresh, you can suck my nuts. 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 Swag. I'm so fresh, you can suck my nuts. 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 Swag. I'm so fresh, you can suck my nuts. 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 Swag. I'm so fresh, you can suck my nuts. 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 Swag. I'm so fresh, you can suck my nuts. 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 Swag. I'm so fresh, you can suck my nuts. 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 Swag. I'm so fresh, you can suck my nuts. I'm so fresh, you can suck my nuts. I'm so fresh.